Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Music of the Week. As always, 6 albums to go through, so let's go through the 6 albums. We begin with a project called Blood Vulture, and its debut album I close. I think to make up for the fact that there wasn't a debut album last week, we're starting off with a debut album. Now, Blood Vulture is a one-person project by a person named Jordan Olds. Or, you might have heard of him under the name of, I think it's 3 Minutes to Midnight, or Minutes to Late Night. But you might know him by the name of Guasinho Hall, which is how I first discovered him a couple of years ago through his covers. Yeah, it turns out when he's not playing this weird Danhausen style musician, he's putting together this incredibly nicely fucking well put together bit of metal, which I'm giving a B+. I thought this was a hella interesting project, mostly because of the lyrics. I love the theme of this one, which is about a vampire that's outlived the human race, so he's just going through, the impact that's had on him and going through the existential dread of having no one left now. It's a hell of a concept. It's really well told, and Jordan, who I think produced it, yeah, he did. I do right here. Really good mix on that as well. I like the sort of. It's a mixture of gothic and sludgy metal for the genre. Really good riffs in that regard too. The guitar solos are proper good, and the fact that Jordan does everything and does it all really well is good stuff. I quite like it. I do wish the production were a little bit better, though. I do like Jordan's style of production, but I think it focuses more on the instrumentation, and I feel like the vocals get a bit buried at times, which I don't know if I agree with, because I know that Jordan Guasinho Hall Olds has the charisma to pull off the sort of thing. So it's weird that his vocals feel as buried as they do. It's also weird because I think he produces all the covers he does on YouTube, and you can hear him a lot clearly through those. I'm not sure what the deal was with that. The structure is also quite good. There's a good vibe and story to tell, and it really pays off, especially near the end. And is there a thing I haven't gone over? Oh yeah, performance is really fucking good too. I'm familiar with Jordan through his covers, as I said earlier, but hearing him do something else and acting out like a central character, especially one who's supposed to be sinister but going through not having anyone else left. All in all, it's a great gothic horror concept album with a really nice style mix. I do wish the actual mixing of sounds was a little bit better, but there's a good story, really good riffs, and a good bit of personality and originality to it, so I can recommend it. Second up, we have our second album from Lead Duo. I was sort of weird how that worked out. This is a band called Dury, consisting of members Austin and Taryn Dury, who are the people you see on the album cover. Giving this one an A+. Holy shit, I quite like this one. They're described as indie rock according to Wikipedia, but this is more sort of that, blended with elements of the Wonder Years and AJJ. There's a lot of folk rock and emo and punk sounds that work really well into it, which is evident from the riffs. I like that there's a really good organic feel to the guitar. It's got that Midwest vibe, which I love, but yeah, it makes sense considering the band is from Minnesota, which I think is in the Midwest, but really good stuff nonetheless. The chemistry between the siblings as well is incredible. I like that they both sing equally too, and a little spoiler for another album we're going to get into a little bit later in this video. Wink. But yeah, I love how they work together. The lyrics are fucking great too. There's really good themes of remembering loved ones and the culture of the internet and how toxic it can get. But it's also written with good humor and self-awareness. We're aware that we're not exactly solving the problem, but we can sort of whinge about it, which I kind of appreciate the honesty of that, because at least they know it, and I like a good bit of meta writing when it's done correctly. Production has a really good organic feel. It's handled by Austin alongside someone named Phil Odom, and just wanted to throw this fun fact in as well. Austin's wife Ashley is the band's touring bassist. I just thought that was a cool little detail that I found out when I was looking more into this band. I like how much the mix fleshes out the sound, and I like the structure as well. It's got this really good energy and bounce, which I think is helped along by the folky punk vibe of the instrumental work. Yeah, really good riffs, really good writing, performances, production, pacing. Not really a lot of wrong points with it. Just fucking really liked it, and you might really like it too. I did. Next up is kind of a first experience in a way. This is a band named Gruesome, which are a tribute band to the legendary death metal band named Death, consisting of members of other tribute acts to Death, but I don't think any of the members of Gruesome were ever in Death. Give this one a B. It's Gruesome's album Silent Echoes. I'm giving it a B. I really enjoyed this one. I thought it had some really solid... it's a really good solid bit of proggy death metal, which is a reference to the style of metal that Death used to do, because proggy death metal was the one that they tackled a bit later. I think earlier they were more melodic, and I think that's sort of the similar thing for Gruesome. This is the weird thing though, because it's a tribute act, I don't think these are cover songs, which would automatically disqualify it from me reviewing it, if that were the case. But for some reason, Death and Gruesome's Metallum pages are exactly fucking identical. With the exception of like the lineup, because again, none of the members of Gruesome were ever in Death. But it's weird, like they tackle the same themes, they're listed as the same musical style change, which makes zero sense because Death started way before and ended way before Gruesome ever performed. So I find that kind of weird. But let's go with things I liked. I thought the performances were really good. Singer guitarist Matt Harvey, really good vocals, really good on the X too. I do think the production costs this album a fair bit though. I get that it was going for the murky feel of a like classic Death albums, even though I've never listened to a Death album. But if you can recommend one to me, I'd happily give it a go. But it feels a bit too crunchy to discern really what's happening, especially on the guitars, which sound strangely jagged. However, I enjoyed the lyrics, because holy shit, death metal lyrics can get so fucking predictable, but this one doesn't focus on like gross murder, death, slaughter, kill shit. It's mostly focused on the theme of being unable to change the past, and how what we can lose will affect what we try and do with it. Which is a really interesting theme, and I never thought that death metal could have an interesting theme. Well, I know it can, it's just I'm so used to hearing detailed descriptions of graphic, violent murder that I was considering it a pleasant surprise, and it kind of was. Instrumentation is really fucking good, though. I love the guitar work especially, and there's a good bit of pacing. I feel like it could have used maybe one or two more songs, and a few of the pre-existing ones should have been fleshed out a tiny bit more, but it moves at a really fast clip, and it focuses nicely on the heavy moments. If you just want something that's good and heavy, I recommend something like this for good and heavy. Next up, we have a band called Hot Milk with their second album, Corporation Pop. I listened to their debut, and I was kind of worried that these guys were going to have the Stand Atlantic problem of not fully being able to find their feet until quite a while into their career. It took Stand Atlantic 4 albums. Thankfully, it took Hot Milk only 2. I'm giving this one an A+. Holy hell, this might be my favourite album of the past week. So it's more of their like typical like punk rocky alt rock stuff, but actually no, punk rock emo, but it mixes in elements of alt rock and pop and all this other weird shit that somehow works with the pacing that makes it really fucking good. Also, one thing I enjoyed about their debut was the chemistry between vocalists Jim Shaw, who also produced this album, and Hannah Han-Mi, and they fucking took that and ran with it. They are so goddamn in sync together, and they both stand out individually, but they also have as much time as each other, and they don't overtake each other. They fucking work brilliantly together. Obviously, the rest of the band too, but like having Jim Shaw and Han-Mi as the focal point of the band's chemistry proves how good the rest of it is. It's just fantastic stuff. Production's fantastic as well, nice and organic and fleshed out, and I like that everyone involved in the mix works together, because Jim Shaw produced it on his own last time. This time he's joined by people named Zach Jones and KJ Strock, who I'm not too familiar with. I think Zach Jones might be the same one from OC Stars, I could be wrong about that. But good work from all people involved here. It's just nice, organic, and I quite liked it, and it really makes the sound go off. It's enjoyable shit. Pacing I've already gone over, but really love how it works in the experimentation, especially in terms of the production itself. That actually helps flesh out the pacing a lot, which is a difficult thing to get right. I am so sorry about my hair. Instrumentation is fantastic too. Love how heavy the riffs get at times. I just like the energy to it, and it's got a lot of really good heavy moments, a lot of good light moments, and it just strikes that balance so wonderfully. And the lyrical themes are fucking great too. So I don't think I went over this when I covered their last album, but Han-Mi actually has a degree in British politics. She actually knows a lot about it, and I think she, or hope she, wrote most of the songs, because I love the themes of the political stuff, like violence and, how, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, the state of unrest, I guess, in Britain right now, but also more like personal things like drug abuse and relationships and sort of societal issues mixed with that. It's a good melting pot of themes that doesn't feel like it juggles too much, like it juggles perfectly, it doesn't feel like it just jaggedly zips from one thing to the next. It's just so well put together. It's incredibly well crafted, presented, and performed. It's just really fucking good, and I hope that Hot Milk find a way to elevate, although I'm worried that I'm kind of worried about where they'll go next, because it might be really tough to top this one, but fuck, I've been proven wrong before. So, yeah, really good shit, Hot Milk. I'm glad you figured your shit out really early, and I look forward to your next one. I'm throwing this in here right now because I don't think I said earlier, but Dury's album is titled This Movie Sucks. But we're not talking about Dury right now, we're talking about a band called Janine's with their new album, How Long Can It Last, which I'm giving a B-. So this is a sort of indie pop band sort of thing, which I don't mind. I like a good bit of indie pop. The problem is, the songs are way too fucking short. There's 13 songs. The album is not even 22 minutes long. I didn't like the pacing of this one at all. It doesn't really feel like most of the songs are fleshed out. They just feel like vague ideas. And the instrumentation, look, okay, I sort of appreciate the mixture of like more twee and jangle and traditional indie rock elements, but there is not enough time given to that stuff. And it feels like there could have been, because I feel like there's some interesting bits here and there, but I just didn't like that bit either. However, I did like the performances. I thought they were really good, especially band member Jed Smith, who's the multi-instrumentalist, because there's him and a vocalist whose name I've got written down. But to say Alicia Hyman, there we go, and she's good. But Jed's doing like all the bass and guitar and all the other shit, and also the production as well. The production is actually quite solid, to be honest. Good little texturing bits and detailing, which add quite a good bit of balance to the mix. But like I feel like Jed carries quite a bit of the album. I've gone on about him for quite a while. I apologise. The lyrics are also pretty good too. I like the theme of focusing on like the fleeting nature of the passage of time, hence the album's title. But the writing can sometimes not feel as interesting as the idea it tries to lean into. And I guess again because a lot of the songs are quite short. So the longest song, which is my favourite song from the album title, Coax to Storm, is a whopping 2 minutes and 15 seconds. It is that long, and it's the longest song on the album. I just want a bit more of this. I've seen people give this one acclaim. I'm like, okay, I do enjoy it, but you're not telling me more could have been done with this? More should have been done with this. I don't know. I was a bit like let down, and this is my first Janine's album. It was good, but like, I feel like there's something that people are seeing that I'm just not. I don't know. It was just me. And in a weird sense of bookending, we began with a one-man solo project. We're ending with a one-man solo project. This is New Jerseyan musician Tom Waslock and his project Planning for Burial, with its 6th album, I think. I couldn't find much more detail into it. Titled It's Closeness, It's Easy. Now, much like Jordan Olds' project Blood Vulture, I just remember the name just now, this is a gothic metal sort of thing with mixtures of shoegaze and post-metal and ambient stuff, which you would think would make it interesting. I'm giving it a B- though. I liked the attempt at the mix of styles. There's really good stuff, and it's not a mix you hear a lot, and Tom himself is a really good performer. I like the production he provides, really good stuff there. He does really well in the instrumentation, and on his vocals sound quite good. He's got like this little low drawl to him, which has like gloomy elements, and this project has been coined gloomgaze, which I quite like. Sort of works for me, and production's really good. It makes everything in the mix really nicely layered, right? But let's get to my two main issues, which are the pacing and the lyrics. So, the pacing of the album, the structure, starts interesting, but it really becomes a slog as it goes along, and the combo of styles doesn't justify its length. It's got 9 songs, and it's at a time of 45 minutes 32 seconds, which isn't a bad time for that many songs. I've heard albums with more songs that do shorter. I mean, we just talked about one before this one, but like, oh god, it really can feel like a blur early on. Like, the first 2 songs are kind of good, then it gets blurry for the last 5, I would say. It just sort of becomes a bit of a gelatinous blob to me. Not terrible, but nothing really sticks in my mind. I feel like whenever I give an album a B-, I'm always unnecessarily harsh to it. I could be more harsh, but I don't want to be, because, yeah, this is something I'm going to get into a bit later. I don't have a problem with an album sounding boring as long as it's good. This album is boring, but it's a good kind of boring, you know. I do want to go over the lyrics as well, because as I put here, there is themes of personal loss and getting older, because of Tom apparently hitting his middle age. I don't know how old he is. But because the main one of the main sound mixes is ambient music, the actual writing is surprisingly barren, and the vocals don't delve into the themes enough for me. I don't know what it was. There just wasn't anything to go off of for lyrics. There is vocals on the album, but you can't really glean a lot from them, which is also weird because the production is quite good. In fact, in terms of production, this album has better production value than Blood Vulture's album does, right? Mostly because you can actually hear the fucking vocalist. The problem is the vocalist doesn't fucking sing a lot. You know, that's the main issue with like lyrics. You want to be able to make them cohesive, and you want a good narrative. I know, again, like the themes are interesting, but it's just like there's nothing to them. So yeah, I can't really say it's exactly an exciting album despite the mix of styles it has. And this is apparently his first album in like 8 years, I think. Again, like I found like conflicting things because some people say like his last album came out in 2017, but like he's done stuff in between, and I think he's done like EPs in the time between, and like one-off singles and splits. I don't fucking know. This is my first listen by him, but I feel like there could have been and should have been so much more happening. See, this is my sort of contrast. I didn't really bring it up with my written reviews, but like the Janine's album just felt like a bunch of stuff happening at you. Playing for February's album feels like not enough happens. And it's strange because Playing for February's album is twice as long as the Janine's album. So, try and explain that because I got nothing for you. Next, we'll do favourite cover from favourite song. So, favourite album cover goes to This Movie Sucks by Dury. I like the fact that the band members look so confused, and also it reminds me a bit of like a mid 2000s Lost indie comedy. It just looks really good. I don't know why it makes me laugh for a reason that really shouldn't make me laugh. But like the album made me laugh like intentionally, so maybe that was the point of the cover too. Favorite song goes to Insubordinate England from Corporation Pop by Hot Milk. I love the fact that it works in like the England bit into the breakdown. It's one of the earliest songs on the album too. Like it does get better as it goes along, but like it's just so much fun. It's just a fun fucking song with really good themes as well. And again, the breakdown utilizing the dun 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 dun, dun, dun England. That part made me smile. I think it's because I'm a fan of the song England Belongs to Me by Coxsparrow, and the fact that the guitar from that works in like the da 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 da. Yeah. I kind of like it when British bands work in British like anthem motifs and stuff. I can't explain it to you. That'll be it from me. I won't be going over any albums I have to listen to for this weekend because we're in July now and I haven't sorted out any albums for this month yet. But the next thing I will see you for, hopefully, will be PBW vs ABW on Friday, aka tomorrow, and more Yakuza Like a Dragon on Saturday. I presume. I don't know. There's stuff happening. I don't know exactly what stuff is happening, but I'll see for the stuff that's happening whenever it happens. As always, thank you for watching, you're awesome. Bye bye.